Merry meet everyone! Welcome back to Midnight Fantasy Creations. Today we are doing these adorable cherry skull earrings. Let's see if I can show that. So I don't know how well I'm going to be able to link the mold for these down in the descriptions because I had a hard time finding them myself. So if I can find them again, I will definitely link them below. But they are the cutest little tiny skulls, and you can do more than just the earrings with them. You can do like those stone bracelet looking things. You can do necklaces, earrings, bracelets, decorative things to put on something else, whatever your little heart desires. So I will be having 3 different colors of these on the website. So they will be in the black cherry, which is black with red glitter. They will be in a hot pink like this, and then they'll be in a red, and I don't have the red ones to show you, but I will definitely have that in a photo at the end of the video so you can stick around and see how that looks. This is going to be super easy to do. All you need is some pigment, some jewelry fittings, and some UV resin. So if you fill these, you'll get 1 set of the earrings, which is perfect. And depending on how many you want to make, you don't need to have a lot, just enough. Fill the molds if you just want to do 1 set, or do a whole bunch if you want. I am gonna make as many as I can. I won't show all of them on camera. I'm just gonna show you 1 set so you have a good understanding of how they're made. Do want to make sure you can cover this or get it out of the view of the UV light, because you don't want it curing in the cup on you. So we've got black pigment. This is not alcohol ink. This is epoxy pigment from Sigwall. I will have those linked in the description below. And then I have a nice red glitter. Nothing fancy, just a basic red glitter. I want to say it's probably like fine, but not super fine. I got this in a kit with one of the resin things. If I can find it, I will link that below as well. I'm pretty sure it was a UV resin one too, so that'll be a double plus. So with the black cherry earrings, you don't want to make the black too opaque. You want them a little translucent so you can actually see some of that glitter pop through, and it gives it more of a like dark red look to it. It's actually black, so that's really cool. Side. So start off with just a couple of drops. Oh, I haven't even opened this one. Oh, lovely. Give me a second. Where's my poker? You should also be wearing gloves, even for the UV resin, which I need to go grab, but 1, 2, let's do 2 drops and see how that looks. All right, now that I got my gloves on, we are gonna just take a stick and we are gonna stir this. Hopefully 2 drops wasn't too much, because I'm gonna need to add more UV resin. Yeah, that might have been too much. Yeah, that was way too much. This is thick for some reason. I haven't been using my UV resin in a little while. I'm hoping it's not going bad, and it could just be because it's cold in here. I am going to be doing other projects when it gets too cold in my office, because resin does not like the cold whatsoever. So I'm thinking that is probably the issue. Probably should turn the heat on. Alright, let's see if we can stir that up a bit. Try not to get too crazy with the stirring. You don't want to add bubbles, especially if you do something way more transparent. This black is very intense in comparison to the last black I used. I probably should have used only 1 drop. That is not going to be good. Well, it's a good thing I have other projects I can do with this. I'm going to set this aside and we are going to start over. Alright, let's try this again. Oh, I am using resin from Go Resin, and I'll have that linked in the descriptions below. Let's try this with 1 drop. You can get just half a drop, that'd be great. Oh, much better. Much, much better. Still very intense. Not intense enough. I'd rather have it not get opaque enough than it being too opaque. You can always add more pigment. In order to dilute it, you have to add more resin. And if you don't have a huge project to work on, that's not going to be a good thing. In fact, I probably should just grab the resin from the other one and just diluted it some more, but it's fine. Fine. Alright, let's add some glitter. Oh yeah, that looks good. Now that we got the black ready, let's put the mold over here, and we are going to dip this in very slowly and carefully and let it fill itself up to get rid of any bubbles. You also don't want these too opaque anyways, because the UV has a hard time penetrating through all of it if it's too dark. I've actually had little skulls where I went to go drill the hole in to add, put the fitting for the hook, and it actually was still liquidy in the center. Very interesting. Okay, I'm going to set this aside because, like I said, I don't want it curing on me. Let's see if I can kind of wipe some of this off. Alright, so this is a silicone brush. I'm just using it to clean up as much of this as I possibly can before I put it under the lamp. See if I can get some of those bubbles out. I've never had so many bubbles before. I don't know if it's because this is too thick. First time for everything. I've done several of these and not once have I ever gotten this so bubbly. Alright, that's good. So we're going to put it underneath the light. This one from Wooby Fine, I think it's how it's pronounced. I'll have that linked below if I can find it. This light has been the best light I have owned for the UV resin. I have another lamp that folds, like the legs fold in. It does not cure well enough. And I got the most powerful one I could find. Of course, I also got the cheapest one I could find. And I don't like it. I may try a more expensive, powerful one and see how that compares. And then I've even gotten like a torch, like the UV torch. The sucker's like this big, and again, better than some of the lamps, but not as good as this. This has been my best friend. So I'm going to speed this up. Basically, I'm going to do it once on the top, twice on the bottom. So I'm going to do this, and then I'm going to flip it and do it twice from the bottom. And it should be good enough to pop out of the mold. Alright, they feel pretty good. Let's pop one of these out. I could have gone a little darker. Just clean it up a little bit. And there we have, oops, and there we have our first skull. Take the rest of these out. So I'm going to take these out, and then I'm going to clean off the station and grab my other tools so we can drill some holes in their little heads. And I can show you the next part. Pretty good. Alright, I will be right back. So we are back. I got these cleaned off. I got the drill bit I need and the fitting that I need to fit the drill bit, I think. Yes, okay. So I am going to tighten this up. Battery's good. Now, when you go for a drill bit, you need the drill bit to be the same size or bigger than the head of this fitting, because we need to put it this part, the flat part in the head, and I'll show you what I mean. That way, if the metal doesn't stick to the skulls, like, it's hard to explain. Essentially, this piece is gonna make it so it doesn't come out of the skull head. So you need the hole big enough to fit that piece in, and it's gonna keep it in place. Even if the metal piece swings in here, it's not going to pop out. So it's a way to keep it from, basically a way to keep the skull from coming off the stem. So you want to be careful. After all, this is a drill, and for some reason the drill is slightly off. Maybe I put it in slightly off. I'm going to make sure the drill is centered. There we go. So if it's not centered, it's going to give you a really funky hole. So we are going to drill at the very tippity top where the stem is going to go. Like I said, you got to be careful. And go straight down in. Ooh. And that's what I meant by it being hollow and liquid. That went right in there, and that was very, very soft. So the inside of this did not cure all the way, which is fine, because it's not going to cause any issues. So I'm going to do all of the tops. And ooh, that one spewed. I'm just gonna clean that up. Little resin brains just came out. Alright, I'm gonna get some rubbing alcohol and I'm gonna clean these up. These all cleaned up. Wipe down my tools just in case carefully. And then I'm going to put this aside because I don't need this anymore. So the next step is to put the fittings in the head. So like I said, that flat part, we're going to stick that in the hole. And actually I probably could have used a smaller drill. It doesn't matter like how far it goes in, as long as it didn't go all the way through. But you definitely want to make sure it's in enough where you're not going to see the piece. And then you're going to take your leftover resin and a small, see, I should have worn gloves. I'm a bad girl. I suppose I can use this. And a small tool to kind of just put some more resin in there. And basically fill in that hole. Now I probably should have put this under the light for a little longer, but I do not mind if the inside of the skull is liquidy or not. Make a mess, take a piece of paper towel. You should probably do it lint-free towel, but I don't feel like ruining my lint-free towels. So just be careful you don't got any fibers on there, but that's much better. So I don't know where my large UV torch is that I mentioned earlier, so I have my little one, which is fine, and try to have that, get this out of the way. Try to have this straight up as best as you can and hit it with some UV light and seal it in place. You don't have to get crazy with it, just enough so this is not moving. We are going to stick it back under my lamp in a minute to make sure this is fully cured. But that is not going to go anywhere. It's not going to fall off. I mean, it might sit and rotate on the thing, like I said. That's why you want to make sure if you get either a flat top, there's an actual name for this, I can't remember what they are because I don't have the package anymore, but you either want a flat one or you can get one with a little ball on it. That way when it's in, it's not going to come out, whereas if it was just this, nothing's holding this in place and this is just going to slide right off of the skull, and you don't want that. You want them to last, you want them to stay where you know, in place, and you want them to be, you know, well made, just in general. So we're going to do the rest of these. I'm probably going to fast forward through this, but and we'll get to the next step. done for the most part. Now I'm going to put them under the lamp and get them a nice, good curing. So I don't need to worry about them popping out, falling apart. Nice and in there. They are not going anywhere. There we go. Put this away. Now for the fun. We need to measure these. Cherries typically aren't all the same length, and every time you usually see a cherry, one usually dangles a little bit lower than the other. It kind of gives it that nice cool effect. So we are gonna take one of these. I'm gonna get my tools. Alright, and these tools you literally can get at any craft store. Michael's, Joann's, Hobby Lobby. I don't know about any other ones around the country. But I don't know if there's an AC Moore anymore. There used to be. We used to have like 3 craft stores on the same street within like a few minutes of each other. So I generally take the one that I want next to the one that I already have. So I'm using this as my guide to get the length. I tend to keep it this side a little bit. I think it's a little longer than the other one. Oh, because it's weird. So anyways, bend it, give yourself a nice mark. Put this guy down, take this tool, and you need to use it to make your loop. So you can put the rings on, and the leaves, and the hook. So you want to make a nice little ring. And then you want to cut the rest of this off. And be careful when you cut it. Metal, if you're not holding onto it good enough, this metal will fly and can get dangerous. And then we're going to take this piece and we're going to completely close it. And you can shift it however you need. And there you go. You got a perfect nice ring to put your jump rings on and your leaves. Oh, and also make sure the hoop is like open, like with the side of his head, because the jump ring is going to go through here and you want it to hang so you can see the skull. And if you had it the other way, then it would be, you'd only see like this side of the skull. So you want to make sure the jump ring is holding the skull forward. So you want to make sure the opening is the same side as the side of the skull. Just want to see if they're a little bit bigger. Make sure that they're about the same size, because you don't want one earring longer than the other. That's pretty good. That's pretty close. Alright, time to do the bigger ones. bigger. Perfect. It's just slightly bigger than the other one. That's what we want. Alright. So we got our little ones, we got our small ones. I'm gonna grab some jump rings. Don't ask me why they call them jump rings, but these little things are jump rings. I don't know. And we're gonna get some of our leaves. How do I do this? Okay. And then we're gonna get some of our hooks. Oops. And we got our hooks. And sometimes having 2 pliers is good. If not, this works as a plier. Ooh, I do have this one little tool. This thing can come in pretty darn handy. So if you only have 1 plier and you have this little ring, you insert it in the slot that fits and you just bend and it opens. Now we're going to put a leaf on. And then we are going to put on a long and a short skull. Skull, short skull, another leaf. And then we are going to put a hook on. And this is where you need to pay attention. So you got the skulls facing out. You want the hook opening facing to the back. So you need to put that on so the hook is facing, the opening is facing out. That way when you're wearing it, the skulls are facing in the right direction. Okay. I am just going to use this because using that ring for this tiny little spot is hard to do. And close that ring as best you can so they don't pop off. Just trust me, they can pop off. Alright, and then you have your skull. Your cherry skull earrings. Super easy peasy. Oh, also, if you want to have them go in a specific pattern, see, we did if you want to have them to go the exact same way, so they're not mirroring each other, you gotta put it in the exact same way. Or if you want them to mirror, you gotta do opposite. So I want them to mirror. So I want the short one first, then the long one. So short. Which one's short? Then long. Make sure you're putting them in the right direction. The leaf. I don't know if my finger's in the way. And then the hook. Make sure it's going in the right direction. And then close. And there you have it. Your skull earrings, skull cherry earrings. Super simple yet super cool and very festive for more than just Halloween. You can wear these all year long, especially if you're a huge skull lover like I am. So I will be selling these on my Etsy shop. I'll be linking that below. You can get them year-round. They are not a seasonal item, but I do feel like it's a good seasonal one to do for the month of October. One more thing I forgot to mention, sorry. You can back these earrings in this little rubber stoppers. You can get them again at any craft store, generally in the jewelry section, the DIY jewelry section. You can get them online at Amazon. I don't remember where I got these, but I'll probably link an Amazon one for you guys. So that is it for today. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope you liked it. If you did, please like the video, share it, comment on it, and of course, subscribe. And I will see you guys in the next video. Blessed be. Bye.